Hey guys, welcome back to Skyline Stroll. Today we're going to be talking about people pleasing and being a little too passive, boundaries. I'm going to do a full video on boundaries upcoming, but I am going to talk about boundaries a bit here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the past and what to do with that past and how to sculpt it into something better now, and how people pleasing can have a destructive effect on your life, and how to learn how to balance it and how to kind of repurpose it. Like if you've been people pleasing for a really long time, then there's a chance that's going to be a hard habit to break, but we might be able to utilize it. Like if we can reframe it in our own mind to start pleasing ourselves first, we might actually make use of this seemingly terrible trait. And yeah, we can also work towards just not being a people pleaser and having healthier relationships with other people and learning how to set boundaries and how to still make people happy and care and make them feel like they're cherished without uh knocking all your own walls down, even your good ones. Like some of our boundaries, they're there to protect us. And all right, so for the first part of this, we're going to address the childhood a bit, right? Okay, so if you grew up in the kind of home where um submission was priority one, like your emotional needs, your tangible needs, sure, we'll get to that, but you have to submit to the authorities. You have to learn to respect your elders. What mom and dad needs goes first, and if we have time for you, we'll get to it. And that's one version of it. That's the version I'm a bit more acquainted with. I'm not directly saying that's what my parents are guilty of, but I come from a home that's similar to that and has kind of that generational chain I'm learning to break. But another one you could grow up in is the emotional distant home. One of the parents just had too many unhealed wounds and wasn't able to quite bond with their kids correctly, or maybe was a narcissist and only emotionally rewarded you for bending over backwards. And even in healthier homes, they can have a habit of withholding emotional needs when you misbehave or when you do something your parents don't care for. And some of that, I guess, makes a little bit of sense, like expressing that you're upset with your child. You should be able to do that, but with kids there's a fine line between doing that and crushing how they see themselves. So if you had your esteem thoroughly trampled when you were little and maybe didn't really realize you were capable of taking care of yourself, or that you were worthy of taking care of yourself, maybe somewhere along the way you saw that you could take care of yourself, but don't really think you are worthy of taking care of, then, well, you just might not take the actions needed to do it, saying, why would I? I'm not worth taking care of, but you are. No one person is really better than another. All our lives are circumstantial and different. And you're never going to find the validation you're looking for in another person. You're never going to find the person who just who patches up all your holes and makes you feel like you're completely worthy of yourself. That's not what someone else does. You make yourself worthy of yourself. And, well, you can't just sit there and say, oh yeah, well, I love myself, so I do. That's like gaslighting yourself, right? Sorry, I've had a busy week and the coffee is quite good this morning. There you go, people pleasing in action. Why the hell am I apologizing to a camera? All right, so when you're a kid, you the 4 F's of survival. If you end up in a situation like I just described and you don't feel safe, which is the result of that, you're going to try the 4 F's of survival in order. You're going to try fighting or fleeing to start. Well, you kind of can't flee from your own home. Where are you going to go? And your parent is 3 times your size. You can't really fight. So you're going to freeze. And when you learn to freeze, you're going to learn to stomp down your own emotional response and needs. Think about the videos of the baby animals being caught by a predator, and they freeze up and the predator just eats them with no resistance whatsoever, right? Freeze response. Option 3, when fight and flight don't work. In the human world, we got option 4. And that's fawning. So if you're little and you can't get your needs met the old-fashioned way of just you get your needs met because you have family that decided to make you, instead what you're going to do is you're going to learn to fawn at others to try and get someone else to come take care of you and meet your needs. And chances are, if we don't have pivotal moments in our childhood where we do learn to just stand on our own 2 legs because some of these core moments just were taken away by the failing of certain parental archetypes, then yeah, you're gonna go into adulthood still seeking another person to fawn to take care of your needs. They're like, oh, I'll just love bomb the shit out of this person and they'll take care of what I need to do. And they'll make sure everything's alright. And they'll make me feel like I'm good about myself. And but that's our job. So there's some affirmations you can try. One is just telling yourself on a daily, I am in charge of my own needs, well-being, and emotional safety. As an adult, if you're in a situation where you've moved away from the narcissistic past, well, then that's one of the biggest things you can do is make it clear that that is in the rear view mirror. If you live through it over and over again every day, it's going to come to haunt you, and you're going to almost do this funny thing where by internalizing and acting upon the past so much, you kind of force people to react a certain way to you, and it's this self-fulfilling prophecy where you kind of create the past you already experienced with new people, because your actions almost pigeonhole them into acting this way with you. So, and then you're like, see, it's the only way that works. Like I said, you take the action expecting this outcome, but the action makes the outcome. And then you're like, see, I told you, look, it's right there. And you register it to yourself. So to counterbalance this and try to register the other way, just take more of your own life into your own hands. Do things specifically because they make just you happy and nobody else. Create more free time. Answer text less. Just don't always be available. Everyone knows you got that phone in your pocket and that you can touch it whenever you want. And if they know that every single time your phone's going off your beck and call, that's not going to be good for your productivity. So try and create some distance between, I will get back to you, I will text you, I will call you, but I'm not at my phone all the time. And even if I am, I may be busy, and creating some boundary there, right? It ain't like, oh, you should put off your friends for this amount of time to show dominance. No, that's whack. It's, you should have the right to have boundaries with people you care about. If you want to just set your phone down for a couple hours, and when you get to it, you realize you have a couple of missed calls, it shouldn't be the end of the world. It should be, oh, sorry, man, I was spending some time meditating or cleaning or whatever and just didn't see the call. My bad. Oh, you're good, dude. Yeah, here's what I had to say. End of story. It shouldn't be a big, where were you? You're never at your phone. That's not great. I shouldn't always be at my phone. And so take some of that responsibility into your own hands. And the more you get better at taking care of yourself, like figure out what of your needs aren't getting fulfilled and ask yourself, how would you want somebody else to fill those needs? And then just do what you would have that other person do for yourself. And at first it's going to feel a little, you're like, well, this is weird. But as you get used to it, you're like, wait, I don't have to have a hero come in and do this part for me. I can just do it. And you're going to get better and better at it. And as you get better and better at it, you're going to feel more choosy about who you do want to let in. Like it's less you need to fix the people pleasing and more you need to fix your mentality about your approach. Like how you see others and stuff. It is noble to be selfless to a point, but it's not noble to be self-sacrificing at all times. It can be downright dishonest, because if you're miserable, like, would you want people to be in that state for you, where they're doing every single little thing you want, but deep down they, like, resent you and they're miserable? No way. No way. I want my loved ones to look at me and be like, dude, I'm setting a boundary here. I don't like that you do this. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'll be like, awesome. Good. We'll keep that in mind. I'm sorry if I slips my mind and I try it again, whatever. But I'm not going to sit there and like prosecute people I care about because they try making a boundary with me. I'm going to be like, okay, we have a boundary here that's acceptable. I will do my best to respect that going forward, and I'm sorry if I fall short of that. It ain't that hard. And another thing to think about is if the people in your life can't show you enough courtesy to, let you have your own space and boundaries, then what I gotta wonder is, are those the kind of people you really want to be around anyway? Me personally, I don't know if bad company's better than no company at all. I keep hearing that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. And if that's true, I don't want to be around the kind of people who suppress and stomp on others, because I'm going to become the kind of person who suppresses and stomps on others. And that just isn't what I want out of life. And it's funny how the people-pleasing mentality often do almost end up in this mindset that leads them to that, where they are the person crushed. A good place to start, because it can be really hard setting up boundaries with people that are already established in your life, is spend time around some new people. Like if you get a new job or something, that is the perfect opportunity to implement some new boundaries. Try a new friend circle, a new hobby. You can set some clear boundaries up front. You'll find that maybe in those spots that those boundaries aren't just getting trampled like they are in other environments. And that will help you feel better too. Like if you have environments where you having boundaries and you having some sense of privacy is normalized, it'll become more normalized for you too. If you're around people where they treat you like you're crazy for wanting that and everyone treats you that way, you might internalize that you're crazy for wanting a little privacy, but you're not. You're allowed your privacy, you're allowed autonomy, you're allowed to speak up for yourself. You've earned all that just by being. So, take better care of yourself. Make that bubble bath. Get that sweet treat. But also take care of yourself right. Like, make sure your bills are paid on time. Call that doctor you've been putting off, and take care of your space, your possessions. Respect yourself, respect your body. Put a little effort into your appearance every day. I'm not saying you need to be vain and like buy a bunch of makeup or get a haircut every week or buy the nicest clothing. I'm saying spend enough time in the mirror respecting yourself to basically earn your sense of respect, earn your own privacy, and internalizing it will make it external too. If you respect yourself more, other people are going to respect you more. So break the self-fulfilling prophecy, become the person who takes care of yourself, and once you are the person who takes care of yourself, you will also passively earn your own respect, and then you can get better at holding your own boundaries, taking care of your own needs, loving yourself, just being the person you need. Because we have to be the person we need, and then once we are the person we need, then we can maybe invite in like another healthy person to come be a healthy person with us. But in the meantime, anything else is almost just a type of codependency, and that's not good for growth. You can grow from a codependent situation, but it's not beneficial to it, because if you guys bond in the same like mindset or same like low energy spot, like when one of you tries to raise up, the other person may grow discomforted by that and try to pull you back down. So we really shouldn't be looking for the solution to our problems within others. Yeah, others are great and they can help and they can give us new mindsets and information and even a shoulder to cry on. Support when we need it. Like, everybody needs support and help. I'm not saying go it alone. I'm saying be capable of going it alone. That way you can earn the right to choose who you go it with. Because if people can tell you're not strong enough to go it alone, people who can take advantage of you are going to show up, and they are going to make sure they are the people you go it with. Because when the going gets tough, they're going to be like, well, what are you going to do? Go it alone? And they know you can't. So get good at doing it yourself and handling yourself and doing your own damn thing. And once you do that, then you can go out there and find that person that meets the rest of your needs. Because, yeah, you can't meet all your own needs, but you sure can get pretty good at getting close. And once you do that, here's the other cool thing. The better you actually are at taking care of yourself, the better you're actually going to be at, like, actually taking care of people and not just showing them what they want to make them happy. Like, if you're good at actually, like, taking care of yourself and meeting your own needs and making yourself feel safe and at home and cared for, right? The better you are at doing that for yourself, the better you're going to be at doing that for other people. So, like, a lot of people, when they're learning a skill, they kind of practice on themselves a little, and then so public speaking. A lot of people spend some time talking to themselves in a mirror before they ever step up in front of other people. And I hear a lot of like personal trainers say like they were their first customer. Okay, fair enough. And so you gotta be your own first customer and please yourself. And once you're pleased, maybe then you can go make other people really happy and like make the world go round. But until then, you gotta do that for yourself. If your own room isn't clean, you have no business cleaning another person's room. And okay, Nimbus. And on top of not being able to I'm going to rephrase this. And emotional numbness. So I mentioned earlier that you can get caught in the freeze phrase where you freeze up and you feel like you don't you can't do anything about it, so you just kind of freeze and try to stomp yourself down and remove yourself from the situation a little bit. Let's address confronting that like numb feeling, and we can also address what to do after we've identified what we're actually feeling. So chances are when you are feeling something, if you suffer from the people-pleasing mentality, your first instinct is to wonder what other people in the room are thinking and feeling. Break that habit. Make your first instinct to figure out what you are thinking and feeling. It's downright important. And get better at identifying your stress. This will help you identify if you're just saying yes or no to something to get by. Like if you can figure out where in your body you physically store your stress. For me, it's my shoulders and shoulder blades and middle of my back. And so when you're in a tense moment with another person, if you can identify that you're holding extra stress because of the moment, right, then you might be able to understand what you're actually feeling a little better, even if you're numb to your own opinion a little bit. And the more better we get at crushing our own feelings down and being numb to ourselves and getting in our own head, the more we're going to pack down into our shadow, and the more shadow work we're going to have to do to actually be like whole and well and self-respecting and really live a good life. So try and practice taking some order and charge, even when it seems uncertain. Just take charge for yourself. Be your own envoy. Think of yourself kind of like as your own lawyer taking action for yourself. My client deserves this and that, and try to love yourself like a loving parent would, even if you didn't have the best example of that growing up. That's okay. Some guy on the internet will give you some ideas on how to better take care of yourself a little bit, pamper yourself, what you can do to self-care. And you can try things until you find things that actually work for you. You don't need somebody else's recipe for success. You need tools and techniques you can try to discover your recipe for success. Because that's the truth. For my people-pleasing friends, for my friends that grew up in homes that really didn't reward emotional stability, it starts with you. Take care of yourself. Learn to stand up for yourself. Take the steps needed to acquire some freedom so you can just set boundaries better with other people. Because once you can, it feels a lot better too. And you'll find that maybe the world has a lot of hurt and wounded people that are looking for other hurt and wounded people to continue hurting and wounding. But also life has a lot of really great people that are looking for other great people to spend their time with and lift each other up with and build a better life that we can all be proud of and move away from the constant stress and hubbub of today. There are people that want more out of life out there, and there are people that will respect your boundaries and not hate you over them out there. So go find them. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, even if it's scary. It probably will be scary. Hell, getting out of our comfort zone is very scary. I did a video recently on that, talking about why that can be so downright intimidating. And another weird note is I strongly recommend watching my video on conquering fear and the fear fire that I endure and how I worked through that, the steps I took. And that one is a little more aimed at true organic fear, but can help with the fear of rejection and failure, which are definitely things I notice go hand in hand with people pleasing pretty regularly. So reframe how you see rejection. Rejection happens. There are so many people on this planet. Not everyone's gonna like us, and that's okay. Your goal is to search for the ones that do, not make all the ones you find like you. So keep searching. They're out there. And if you like yourself, it's a lot easier to search. You feel less rushed. So, don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in the feelings of people who dislike you. If you actually like yourself, you're going to be a lot less worried about what random strangers and coworkers and acquaintances are saying about you, as opposed to the thoughts of people you really care about and yourself. Learn that you got to value those opinions. They're the only opinion. Your opinion is the only one that actually has final say on what happens in your life. So learn to hear that opinion, learn to value that opinion, learn to act on that opinion. And then once you do all those things, it should start snowballing in the other direction a little bit. So in the meantime, thank you much for watching. I think I'm going to do a follow-up video on this where I go deeper into like the fear of rejection and boundaries. And in the meantime, I am working full-time now, so I'm a little bit busier and a little bit more tired, but that's okay. So many people online manage to keep a regular upload schedule of much more intricate content than this and work a full-time job at the same time, so I just need to get over it and just keep at it. And so for the people who are regularly watching and liking my content and stuff, thank you so much. And I hope to see you in another video soon. If you are one of the said people pleasers that I'm addressing today, go love yourself. Go do something just for you this week. And when somebody in your life criticizes you for doing it, don't internalize that. Take note of that and be like, here's that moment where I try to lift myself up and another crab decides to take a swipe at me for doing it. And then keep raising yourself more and more. Because you can go up, you can reach your goals, and you can live a life that is downright beautiful. So, best of luck. I hope the weekend treats you all well, and I'll see you in the next Skyline Stroll, guys.